action. Oh yeah, that's bright. Bright light. Still testing my new Exped camping mat. And something I noticed that I was watching a video from another guy. We're kind of like a little bit wider individuals, wider. And I'm not really that wide, but like your arms drop and you rest it on the pad there. That's so nice about a medium wide pad or a large pad, whereas the skinny ones, the regular ones, are like just too skinny. Your arms just fall off. You're laying against the grommet or whatever you got. And where is this? I don't know what's going on here. I'm lost. Is it the other way? Okay, there it is. Hardly do these videos from the front. But you know, like I lower my arms and I feel like in the Thermarest, you feel like actual warmth. You're like, wow, I can't believe this. This thing is like warm. Whereas it's still kind of missing a little bit with the Exped, even though it is supposedly like mostly insulated down that upper edge rail, but then the feet are not. I don't notice it as much in the feet, not as much as I thought I would, but I haven't had real cold either. It's 30 Fahrenheit, so just a bit below freezing. And, you know, it might go a little colder than that. I feel like the Nemo, the newer Nemos, which did not have the medium wide or the regular wide, I felt that one I got to like 17 Fahrenheit. And the Thermarest, not quite that, but not too far from that, maybe like 26. And this one I had on a night, it got to 22. It was fairly cool. Most of my back is warm. Well, it's not like, it's hard to explain that Thermarest when you feel it actually being warm. You feel like, I don't know, you're like, wow, I can't believe this thing. It is a little crinkly, like loud. Like this one, you move around, this pad does not make much sound, this Exped. So if you're out for that quietness, it's got that quick release valve. That was another thing though, even though the valve on the Thermarest was a little more annoying, it was up on the top here, somewhere right by my ear, where like, especially like this integrated pad system, you see it's all pinkish, reddish, Valentine's Day colors. It has like some openings there on the corner where that would come out, whereas the valves to the Exped are underneath the pad. And my old Exped is supposed to be underneath. I just flipped the pad the other way, especially it's in the hammock. Like in other words, the part that's green on this that says Exped, that's on top by my head, the valves are not there. The valves are underneath it. So it's like, you got it. I mean, they thought this all through with the way they camp. Like, no big deal. Just stick the hose underneath. It actually works better because you're forcing the pump sack down against the ground. So it kind of makes sense. They just figure you're going to know where your pad thing is, your valve. I don't know if I'm that smart. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm doing it out here with this sucker. If I knew the legs were not insulated, the rails, I probably would not have purchased. I asked a ton of questions and emails. I drew up some sketches of it, and I'm trying to explain, like, I do not want to buy a pad that's not insulated. And then, I don't know, there are corners of this that I'm going to have to check. They are not insulated on the top here. They have that outer rail on the sleeping pad. You can see the mummy shape around me, and those outer rails used to be completely void of insulation. You get real cold arms. Well, my arms are not that warm. It's like 30 Fahrenheit, and they were not that warm. Not cold though, but you could tell they're partly void of insulation. And of course they're on the outside edge of the hammock. All these little things that get annoying as it gets further and further, colder and colder. I'm saying, like, I was first using pads, I had a cheaper Thermarest from a Bass Pro, and I started getting CBD, cold butt syndrome, cold back. Like, as I plummeted under 40 Fahrenheit, it got cooler, and then I was in the high Sierra up there by Lake Tahoe in the late summer, and we started getting predictions of like 27 Fahrenheit. I'm like, I gotta get a new pad. So I wanted something expensive like a Thermarest, but I had no money. I was out there, and I got an $89.99 Klymit, and that had a rating of R4.5. The other one had a 3.1 R value. I knew I needed the best R value I could get, and at that time it was that Thermarest at Bass Pro. Then I got that as a Scout, and then I just left that sucker at the outdoor store in Lake Tahoe. Fun find for somebody. I didn't know what to do with it. I'm like, I'm not mailing this thing back even. I should have maybe. But that was like $60. Then the next Klymit, the Klymit was like $89, and it got me down under freezing. I had a little bit of a cold button back, getting near 27, but we're over 27 now, is what I'm saying. Like, as far as your money, what makes a difference? I don't know. Like, definitely this one's a thicker, more comfortable pad. I also had some blowouts on the old Exped, the old version of this, which they replaced for free, but it's something to consider. I've definitely heard. They assured me they got the blowouts, not holes, but their baffles slowly let go. It's like watching the river slowly flood. You better move your stuff sooner or later. Not bad though. They're pretty good overall, but they all are. Everybody makes these are real nice people. I do these critical talks. Most people I know, this kind of stuff doesn't even matter. But the people like I know from backpacking and stuff, it matters because it's a lot of money to buy these things. And I feel like it's misleading to not show that the outside rails are insulated. I don't know if it's really those great big rails and it says big outside rails to keep you on your pad, but they still don't say they're not insulated, and those suckers a lot of times are not insulated. That one big dude, big hunter dude on the internet, he seems like a good guy. He was comparing them, and he had his old Thermarest, and he had a newer Big Agnes, and it had those big rails. And a lot of people are like, dude, those, I don't know if Big Agnes insulated on those rails. I like Big Agnes stuff. They don't have the mummy pad, and I'm in the hammock. I like the mummy shape. You don't get that. That was one thing of that Klymit. You can get that cheaper Klymit. It's real nice. I got Logan, the ultralight version. It's just in a hammock. It gets a little more squirrely when you've got a rectangle. But I've got a pad sleeve. Much difference on a pad sleeve. And then we went with the theory that the mummy is less air voids around you. You know what I mean? If you've got a mummy shape conforming, as that thing goes lower and lower, flatter and flatter, overnight or whatever, your body sinks. The air is going to have more voids around you to escape to. Whereas here with the mummy, the air can't escape that easy. And from a perspective of thermodynamics, the less air mass you're going to have to heat with your own body. They use the testing of the R value with machines and stuff to see how, or whatever they do, to see how quick air transports through the mat. Well, in practice, I don't know if that's heat goes through the mat. You know what I mean? Your body is kind of heating this air underneath you. So the more air you have, if it gets colder, especially in a freaking hammock, that's going to be harder to heat. So I look back at some of those, they're thick pads. Like this is a 3-inch pad, I think. Some of them are up to 4 inches. You go back to the 2.5-inch thick pad. From that perspective, you got the similar R value, insulation value, but less air mass to heat. It's a little less tipsy if you had a skinny pad too. But that Nemo pad was awesome, but it was real thick like that, so your butt doesn't slowly sink down as much. It's thicker, you know, pad. But then, you know, it gets a little, especially in an ultralight hammock stretch. I don't know, you can definitely feel that you're up there a little higher on the 4-inch thick pad. You get used to it. Little things you notice. Oh, yeah.